Hey everyone, welcome back. We are doing a travel vlog after what seems like eternity and I'm super excited, especially because this trip is all about revisiting our childhood. We are in the area called Dorset, which is in the southwestern part of England. It's a coastal area. It has got millions years of history. This is called the Jurassic Coast, and as the name explains, Jurassic creatures used to tread down these very paths once upon a time. But that's not why we are here this weekend. We are in fact going to go on the Enid Blyton trail. You had heard that right. So Enid Blyton, no need to introduce who she was. She gave us a lot of joy when we were young. Vikram and I were both, like probably all of you, were big fans of Famous Five, Secret Seven and Noddy, Mallory Tars. There are so many of her books that brought so much entertainment to our young lives. So we are in the city called Poole, which is a coastal town or a city. I don't know whether it's a town or a city, but it doesn't matter. It's beautiful, it's pretty, the weather is lovely. We are next to the Poole Quay. In fact, this is the harbour, and this is where we are going to set sail from. We will be taking a ferry from Poole to Swanage. So Swanage is like the base area if you want to explore the Enid Blyton trail. We in fact wanted to stay in Swanage, but this being a busy school holiday weekend, we couldn't find any accommodation. So that is where we are headed first. Vikram has just gone to get our tickets. Vikram has got the tickets finally. We've got a couple of return tickets that will take us to Swanage and then back again after a few hours after we finish whatever we need to do today. And how much did it cost?
It cost £35 for the two of us.
Okay, so £35 return for the two of us. I've got severe motion sickness, so I need to have my tablets first. Let's set sail. And what?
Also, just to remember, the last boat back from Swanage is at 4:45, so make sure you are back in the harbour by then if you're planning to take the ferry back.
We have just reached Swanage. It took us an hour by boat. This is where Enid Blyton used to stay. Her preferred hotels were something called the Ship Inn, the Grosvenor and the Grand, and there's also a bookshop where she used to sign her book copies for sale. And this is one of the piers. Apparently there was one more pier when she used to stay here, and she and her husband used to go for swims before their supper. Very active life, I must say. Now, unfortunately, we do not have enough time to go around Swanage and show you the sights now, because we have got tickets booked for the next train. It's a heritage train, and I'll tell you more about it when you reach there. We actually have just half an hour to reach the train station, and the walking distance the walking time as per Google Maps is 34 minutes. So we have to make a bit of a run. Beautiful pier. There's even a diving school. We could see lots of people go for dives. I don't know what they see. Probably, I don't know how much marine life they have here, but I've heard there are lots of shipwrecks and treasures to be found. It's a beautiful day, and as you can see, it's a gorgeous pier. can't run as fast as Vikram. I'm trying as hard as I can.
Let's go for a swim.
Let's go for a swim like the famous five, shall we? I'm not going to make you sandwiches though. I'm more of a George than a Nan. So as you can see, this is Swanage railway station, and we have got a very special, very old looking train here. This is in fact a heritage train. This is a heritage station, and the train itself is run by steam. I think I've never rode a steam train. I'm not very sure. Vikram says he has. Apparently the trains that used to take him from Calcutta to Ranchi when he was a child. He has family links with Ranchi and used to visit his family on holidays. And he says that those were driven by coal. I don't know whether or not to believe him, because I was under the impression that coal engines have been out of work for a long time now, but if he says so, then let's see what he's up to. He has already found his place. This is the compartment, and we have got a friend here as co-passenger. These are not really retro looking compartments. We have seen such compartments in Indian railways.
They are pretty retro. It's got wooden fittings and everything is wooden. You can see the teak wood panels.
Yeah. So we have reached our destination station, which is called Corfe Castle. That's the name of the village. Enid Blyton in fact used to take the same steam train from Swanage to this place, because here lies the old ruins of a castle which was initially apparently built for William the Conqueror, but that was the inspiration behind Kirin Castle of Famous 5 series. First time she mentioned it was for the book 5 on Treasure Island, when gold was found in the dungeons. That is going to be our next stop. We are both very excited, and this is also a very, very serene, pretty little place. Once a upon a time not too long ago, there used to be a painting of the famous five here somewhere, and I was really hoping that we could catch some pictures with it, but unfortunately it has gone for refurbishment. So maybe we have to come back at a later time in order to take pictures with the famous painting of the famous five. But in the meantime, let's go for a walk down the road to visit the castle. Now there's a little bit of problem here, which is because of COVID restrictions. To visit many places, we have to pre-book slots in advance. I unfortunately wasn't as organized this time. I had too much of the work to do. It skipped my mind, and yesterday when I logged in, they did not have any more slots for today. They had already closed sales. Corfe Castle is run by a trust called National Trust. It's a charity, and both Vikram and I are members, so we can gain free access, but we still have to book slots. I managed to book a slot for tomorrow morning, but I'm gonna try our luck anyway, see if somehow my charm or Vikram's charm works. If not, we'll have a walk around the castle and then we can proceed with the next destination. We'll keep you posted anyway. আমার ব্যাগে আছে, এই তো বার করে দিলাম তো।
You don't need to be so vocal all the time.
It's okay. Everyone knows you're handsome.
আমার চুলটা it's all I look as if I have no hair.
You have lots of hair.
Still some years, good years left.
A lot of good years left. So we are glad that we managed to get entry today because the weather is glorious. Tomorrow it's supposed to rain a bit. I don't think the views would have been as stunning on a different day. It is absolutely mind-blowing. I've shared the pictures with you guys and some of the videos too. I'm sure you agree with me. So we are going to sit down for a bit and enjoy lashings of Diet Cola because that's all we have. And a couple of bananas. We wouldn't have had corned beef sandwich anyway because we don't eat meat. And as I've mentioned before, I refuse to be the Anne and make sandwiches for the rest of the gang. So if you want to eat it, make it yourself. Alright, so there has been a slight change of plan. Instead of carrying on with the circular trail that I had planned, we have returned to Swanage, taking a bus, Breezer 40, that's the number of the bus. That takes about 20 minutes to half an hour to reach Swanage from Corfe Castle. Our initial plan was to take a walking trail for the next destination. But essentially what happened is that it already is about 2:30 in the afternoon and the last ferry to leave Poole is at 4:45. So I thought it's going to be a bit of a stretch, and the circular route as recommended by Dorset's tourism department that involves a lot of public transportation, local buses, which is fine, but I know that in villages of England, these buses are not very frequent. So if we miss one, we might have to wait for an hour or even more for the next bus, which would essentially mean that we definitely would miss the ferry and just throw things off track in general. So my plan is to go back to Poole and take the car. I know by the time we reach Poole it will almost be 6 in the evening, but thankfully days are much longer now. And these are not huge distances to cover by car anyway. So we'll go back to Poole, take the car, and then hit as many other destinations as we possibly can today. If anything is left behind, we're going to go tomorrow. So we went back to our hotel in Poole and got the car for the next few stops, 6 to be precise. First destination being the Blue Pool. We had to park our car at the side of the road because the gate to the accessway is somehow closed for cars now. I think because it's a bit late. It is 6:50 in the evening, but in summer months thankfully we are blessed with longer days. So a few meters walk will hopefully take us to the Blue Pool. Tell us about the Blue Pool, Vikram. I forgot what the Blue Pool is famous for.
The Blue Pool is described in the famous book Five Go Off in a Caravan as an enormous blue lake that lay glittering in the August sunshine. The Blue Pool is less blue these days, but it is still peaceful and tranquil place to visit. Set within the First Book estate, the Blue Pool is also home to the Blue Pool tea rooms, which I can see from here. A vintage style tea house dating from 1935. Perfect for a lunch or a cream tea. But we are too late for both.
Okay. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's go off to the next stop, shall we?
Let's go.
Yeah. This is Stoborough Heath, which is reputedly the mystery moor that is mentioned in the book 5 Go to the Mystery Moor. This doesn't look moorish, does it?
It doesn't, and there are too many crows in that one too.
I know.
I've never seen so many.
Are they crows or ravens?
Could be ravens, I'm not sure.
I think the moor is probably towards that direction. I think we probably are in the wrong place. Let's go and look. Let's go and have a look around. So this place is called the Stair Hole. It's part of the Jurassic coastline, which is my favorite part of this country. And Vikram is going to tell you what the association with Enid Blyton is. Vikram?
The Rubber mystery is set in a seaside village with a secret whirlpool and a submarine bay. Not the famous 5 this time, but 4 children, a dog and a monkey go on an adventure to discover spies and long-lost relatives. Rubber Whirlpool is where the children have one of their adventures and is described as one of the finest whirlpools I ever did see. The rock that gives the name Rubber is like a scrubbing board. Stair Hole, found next to the world-famous Lulworth Cove, is just like the whirlpool rocks, with tight lines of rock compressed over time, which now resemble an old-fashioned washboard. The coast at Lulworth is part of the Jurassic Coast World Heritage Site and is a fantastic place to see blowholes, caves, arches and coves.
Morning everyone, welcome to day 2 of our Enid Blyton trail, and today we are going to visit the Brownsea Island, which is a 20 minutes boat ride from the harbour. It is also a National Trust property, and as I mentioned, since both Vikram and I are members, we don't need to buy tickets, but we still need to book our slots in advance. That's part of the COVID infection control protocol. Unfortunately, we had forgotten to do that. It was fully booked this weekend, and without tickets yesterday they did not let us get into the ferry. But today thankfully there are a few extra spaces, so they decided to let us in anyway. Very excited. I'll tell you all about the history of Brownsea Island and who it's linked to Enid Blyton once we reach there. So we are now in Brownsea Island, which is an island just off Poole Harbour. It is a wooded area, and in Enid Blyton's time it was owned by an elusive woman called Mrs. Bonham Christie, who wanted the island to remain as natural as possible and wouldn't tolerate visitors to land here. Now this is owned by the National Trust, which is a charity. I've already mentioned about National Trust to you yesterday. So they do allow people like us to come and visit, enjoy nature. There are lots of wildlife here, and when I say wildlife, I don't mean in the Indian sense. There are no tigers or lions, definitely not. But one of the famous inhabitants of Brownsea Island is the very rare red squirrel. This is one of the few places where you can actually find them. So Vikram, tell us something about the flora of this region.
From what I've seen, it has a mix of both coniferous and deciduous trees, which is very remarkable, because normally above a certain altitude or a certain climate you just have one type of trees.
Yeah, that's what we read in geography back in school, didn't
but
we?
this
Yes.
one has got a mixture of both.
You need to look at the camera, otherwise your voice will trail off. Yeah.
Sorry. And I just found a gigantic pine cone.
Are we taking this home for Christmas decoration?
We could. It looks nice.
Yeah,
doesn't
let's
it?
take it home. It looks nice, yeah.
This belongs to a variety of pine called maritime pines.
Okay.
And those flowers over there, can you guess what they are?
I can't. You have
They're
to
not
tell me.
roses, you can make out.
No, of course they're not roses.
They're actually rhododendrons.
Oh, like the northeastern India.
Exactly. So you actually have to travel to a lot of altitude in India. Like if you go up the mountains, only then you can see this kind of flower.
That's interesting. So is it a naturally grown plant here, or did someone decide to?
It looks like it's naturally grown, right? It looks like it would have been growing naturally. It doesn't look like it's actually cultivated here.
Okay, all right. So in the famous Five book, Five Have a Mystery to Solve, Enid Blyton took inspiration from Brownsea Island and described it as the Keep-Away Island because, of course, when she used to visit Poole, this island was off limits for visitors. There's another reason why Brownsea Island is quite famous. It's because this is the birthplace of the Scout and Guide movement, and I am in fact standing at the very precise place where the campsite started. So there's a scout stone here, And this is in commemoration of the experimental camp of 20 boys held on this site from 1st to 9th of August 1907 by Robert Baden-Powell, later Lord Baden-Powell of Kilwell, founder of the Scout and Guide movement. So this is the area where the original camp was held, and now it's all over the world, as we know. I wasn't part of the movement. I used to do NCC, which is under the Ministry of Defence of Government of India. It is a similar kind of a program for young boys and girls. So we have decided to take a slight detour and go for the calming Kimmeridge Woods trail. It seems that there are lots of scented pine trees in this short stroll area, and hopefully after a few minutes I'll be left completely zen.
There are actually many types of pine trees. So far I've been able to identify, of course with the help of my app, 4 different types, varieties of pines.
What's the app you use in case someone is interested?
Picture this.
Picture this, okay.
Picture this.
Let's have a look.
That's the app. What it lets you do is you can take a photograph of any tree. And it will identify, provided you've got network access, it will identify what kind of plant it is. It could be based on a seed, a flower, or a leaf.
You know, I actually think there's a feature in my Samsung phone that allows me to do it without the use of any extra app. But anyway, it's good to have.
So we have made our way down to Kimmeridge Bay. In the famous book, 5 Fall into Adventure, the children take a picnic down to the sea where rocks, I quote, where rocks jutted up from the beach surrounded by limpid rock pools. Apparently this is undoubtedly Kimmeridge Bay, and it's one of the best places to go rock pooling in Dorset. Later on in the book, the children row a boat around the coastline until they see a high cliff on top, which was a dour grey stone building, a little like a castle. It brooded over the sea with one square tower overlooking the waves. That building is thought to have been inspired by Clavel Tower, built in 1831 at the Folly, which is now a holiday accommodation with amazing views over Kimmeridge Bay.
So guys, we have reached our final destination. This is the Knoll Beach. It is also an area maintained by the National Trust, though you don't have to buy any tickets in order to access the beach. It's a lovely sandy proper seaside beach as we know it, unlike the rocky terrain we have seen so far. Though in the distance we can still see rocks. I don't know if you can appreciate the part of the Jurassic coast at the distance over there, and there are some rock stacks here. Those are called Old Harry rocks. Next to this beach is the Studland village. Back in the day there used to be a police constable who was the inspiration behind Mr. Plod of Noddy series Noddy Goes to Toyland. And also I love Purbeck golf course is close by. Both Enid Blyton and her husband were keen golfers, and I think they were members of the golf club. She used to sit at the clubhouse and write many a times. I know there are some serious accusations, and I agree with them, accusations of sexism and racism against Enid Blyton and her books, and I believe at some point her books were banned in the United Kingdom as far as I know. I could be wrong though, because of these reasons. Obviously, I told you right at the outset, I don't agree with this girly girl and making sandwiches for everyone and boys will be boys out there for adventure. And the only girl who was allowed to be part of the adventure had to, be a tomboy. So yes, her writings were not perfect in that sense and probably not fit for this day and age. When I was young, when Vikram was young, her books did provide us with a lot of joy and entertainment, and this trip has been about revisiting our childhood and trying to bring back the same innocence and happiness that we felt. So as you know, this took us 2 days to complete this trip, but we could have finished it in 1 day if we had just taken our car along instead of relying on local transport. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to attach 2 itineraries. One, if you decide to self-drive and do everything yourself, you can finish pretty much everything in a day or maximum a day and a half. And the other itinerary will include the public transports, the one that Dorset tourism site recommends. You can't obviously cover all the bits with public transport. There are areas like Kimmeridge which probably will be out of bound and you need some other mode of transportation to reach there. But if you have a couple of days, you can pretty much see most of the highlighted areas. I hope that will be useful to you guys, and I hope you had fun watching this. I hope you could feel the same excitement as we did. I know the weather was not brilliant today, and in Kimmeridge, though the view would have been stunning, it was too cloudy and foggy. But somehow the clouds and fogs have decided to, disappear for us to enjoy the Knoll Beach. Thank you guys for watching again. Have fun, stay safe. Bye.